Hi, my loves. I'm your host, Dzea Love, and welcome to the Golden Aura Podcast. I had this whole thing planned out where I had a little catchphrase and everything, y'all, but it just wasn't seeming to flow off the tongue. And for the first official podcast, I want everything to not feel forced. I want it to just flow. I want me to give y'all the most authentic energy that I can because that is what this podcast, this channel is based off of. Just allowing ourselves to unlock parts of ourselves, to be our authentic selves. As much as we have heard that growing up, it's not easy. We are in a time where it's more accepted to be yourself, but it doesn't make it any less hard. Nobody taught us how to do this, and it should be the most natural thing in the world. These things are easier to build your muscle, they're easier to build your strength. With this, walking out into the world without putting a mask on, without having on a fucking cloak and being somebody that you're not, it should be easy, but it's not. And when you grow up around people who, code switch, who are, you see them be 10, 11 people in one setting, you know what I mean? And then you see them with other people and they're this whole other person. It leads you to believe that you have to shapeshift and perform when you do not. So, in my journey to really just being authentic to who I am, peeling back all the layers that I thought I had to put on, the book bag was getting heavy, y'all. I was ready to take it off, and I did, and I started unpacking, and I'm like, who was this? Who was this? So it led me to want to create a safe place where we can all just breathe and know that we are enough, we are worthy, and that ain't nothing cooler than being who the fuck God created you to be, okay? So without further ado, let's get into our first topic. Our only topic, okay? We're only talking about one thing right now. Later, we're gonna do as the podcast advance, we're gonna do little things like people can call in and we may talk about multiple topics. But for right now, this first episode, which I'm so excited to be finally sharing this with y'all. I've been wanting to do this for a while, so I'm finally happy that I'm brave enough to put it into fruition, y'all. So yes, as we grow, everything is going to flow more, be more big, grander. I had to take a pause right there, y'all. Anyways, our first topic for today, our only topic for today. Let me stop saying that. It's our only topic for today is the art of being present. Now, y'all, we all know that as children, we felt present with everything because we were. There was nothing else to worry about. There was nowhere else to be but right there in the now. You know what I mean? That's why every emotion felt so big because we weren't trying to live in two places. Our body and our mind and our spirit was present right there with us as kids. And that's why everything felt so big, magical, and beautiful. And when things weren't that way, they also felt very scary, very hurtful, very like, dang, the world is going to end. And as you become an adult, you realize, you know, you put on different ways of helping yourself cope. Situations, things, they don't seem so big anymore. They don't hit your heart the same way. And it's because our body has now learned to shield itself. Okay. So, what I've learned as an adult, especially after having my son, is that being present is so important. And I really didn't realize how disconnected I was from my present until after I had my son. Like, he literally used to look at me like, girl, where are you? And it took me a while, nearly 2 years, to unpack and dissect that. And I'm still unpacking and dissecting it and learning to be not just more present with my son, not just more present with my husband, but also more present with myself because I deserve it. You know, we're put here and we deserve to experience what is right here for us without worrying and beating ourselves up about what happened in the past or what's going to happen in the future, because all we have is right now. You know what I mean? People say that the past, the present, and the future all happen simultaneously. And I do believe that to be true. But the only thing that you and me and everybody living in this world can experience right now is the present. The present. The present is a gift. So, and me peeling that back, it took a lot of going back and forth and analyzing myself. And sometimes those things make you feel a little crazy when you analyze yourself too much. And that's also something that I had to learn, is that it's okay. You can give yourself a break. So before I get into the topic anymore, I want us to take a minute to check in with ourselves, check in with how we feel. You know, I don't know if anything I say is going to trigger anybody. I hope that it doesn't. I hope everything that I say resonates. It's something that everybody can take with them to help themselves learn and grow. But just in case anything arises, I want to make sure that we have checked in with ourselves. And if this self-healing talk is not something that you can take right now, it is okay. This I will be here. This same video will be here when you're ready, okay? All right, so let's place our hand over our hearts. And I really want you to take the time to ask yourself, how am I feeling? What am I feeling? Take a deep breath. Allow whatever emotions arise, allow them to arise. Notice how your body feels. Relax your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Relax your neck. And remember, there's nobody to be. There's no place to go. And you are safe. Yourself knows you better than anybody in the world. So as you're asking yourself these questions, yourself will get back to you. It may not be right now, and it may be right now. It just all depends. But whenever the answer comes, just know that that is the right time for the answer to come. Take as many deep breaths as you need. To get yourself grounded into the present moment. All right, you guys. That was nice. I was feeling it. I was feeling that. You know, sometimes really deep breaths really do help. The breath of life. Okay. God knew what he was doing when he did that one. Yeah. All right, y'all. So, the art of being present. As an adult, we tend to think a lot about the past, a lot about the future, and we just kind of run everything on autopilot for the present. I noticed that with myself, and as I became more familiar with the characteristics that I was seeing about myself, I noticed it within the people around me, within the videos that I was seeing, and everybody was pretty much saying the same thing. That right there is called collective consciousness, because like I like to say, we all are one. Okay? So Nothing really is just specific to you. Like those little memes that we see now, and we're like, dang, do we all live the same childhood? Kind of, okay. Because collective consciousness, like your experience is only your own, but certain things that you go through, like people are feeling the same thing. We might all handle it differently, but in the grand scheme of things, like it's kind of the same thing, the same feeling, the same emotions. And unpacking what I learned is that while the past, the present, and the future are all happening at the same time, like I said, you can only be here in the present. You can think about the future, but you cannot think about the future to your detriment. You cannot think about all the things that you do not want to happen. Why? Because it creates anxiety, it creates depression. The future is not in your reach yet. Your higher self, your angels, your guides, they're all working with you to get to that point, to continue on your path to get to your higher self. They can guide you, but you right here in the present, you have to appreciate where you're at. So that journey to get to the future you does not feel like suffering. Life is supposed to be fun, okay? And it's really all about your perspective in life. You can think like, hey, I don't like where I'm at right now. I want to get to my destination. Baby, the journey is the destination, okay? The journey is the gift, okay? The destination, you'll have many destinations in life. So don't be so quick, don't be so eager to get to the destination, okay? You have to allow yourself to release control. I know, okay? That was hard for me. And I consider myself a roll with the flow kind of Joe, okay? I consider myself somebody that can literally just, all right, I don't have to have a plan. Everything's going to work out. But in the back of our human minds, we know we want a little piece of control of how things is going to go. Yeah, we do. And I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. And I'm talking to me too, because it's true. And denying that fact is lying to yourself. It's denial. And that concept, I had to ring that around a lot of times in my head. Like, I'm not controlling. No, no, no. I was, and you probably are too, and it's okay. The first step is being honest. Just like them AAA meetings say, the first step is admittance. Admitting that you are controlling. And it's okay. It's understandable. This is your life. And you want your life to go in the best place possible. But this is where faith comes in. We serve an almighty creator. Now, I'm getting out of the place where I'm so dependent on religion to tell me the characteristics of God. And I'm learning God for myself. I'm not calling God him, her, he, him. I'm not calling God anything but God. God, God just is. And everything that he puts in place, I know it sounds like I'm giving them a whatever, but I have to say that right there because I don't know what else to put in right there. Everything that God puts in place is for your greater good. It's for your greater good. And once you get that into your head, it's still going to be a little fight, a little tussle, a little battle. But it's easy for you to let go little by little by little. Let go of how you think things should go and know that God knows exactly what you want. He knows exactly what you need. And if you allow him, because he's a gentleman, he's going to give you more than you could ever ask for. But if you're resistant, he's going to say, okay, I'm just going to, I'm just going to, I'm just going to chill out right now. You know what I mean? I got time. I'm just going to chill out until she or he get the memo that they may think they know, but they don't know the full scope of things. Just like children, they think they know, but they don't. We thought we knew as kids, but we didn't. And now as adults, we are still children to our God, okay? We're still children to God because He sees the fuller scope of everything. He sees the whole timeline, okay? And He has to put everything into place the way that it needs to for your highest good. Letting that go, releasing your control, releasing your grip over what you think things should be, and allowing things to be what they are allows for God to move on your behalf in the way that opens door that you couldn't even believe were going to be opened. But this is how you assist Him. You dream, not have nightmares about your future, not think about all the things that could go wrong. Like I said, you dream. Y'all remember how we used to dream as a kid? Make it impossible. Be a little delulu, okay, about it. Because nothing is impossible for God. So you dream about all the things, the beautiful things. I want this kind of car. I want this kind of house. I want to feel so relaxed, so at ease. Once I'm where I'm supposed to be. I want to be wealthy. I want to live in luxury. I want to be able to help those around me. You know, whatever it is to you, don't put limits on yourself, because putting limits on yourself is putting limits on God. I know, that sounds a little harsh, but it is. And we like to say that we don't put limits on God, but really we do. And it starts with ourselves. If God lives inside of you, that means that you don't got no limits, babe, unless you place it on yourself. Okay? You don't have none. All right. So that's it about the future. You can think about your future. You can think about it as much as you want. You could daydream. That's what we used to do as kids. Daydream about it. You have that power and that authority to tell things what they are and what they are not. But what you can't do is God's job. You can only do what you can do. So you be here in the present. You dream. That's what you do about thinking about the future. Now, what you do about thinking about the past, this one, y'all, I'm sorry, but it's going to fuck y'all up a little bit. Okay? This is something that one of my homegirls, she's sort of like a mentee, y'all. She called, I have never read The Convoluted Universe, but apparently this is a concept that was in the book, The Convoluted Universe. And apparently it goes deeper than even what I'm about to explain. I didn't even know anything about it. It felt like, I was just thinking, and God just dropped a download on me one day. And I brought it into our little weekly Zoom girls spiritual talk. And she was like, yeah, that goes in with a convoluted universe. I'm like, wow, it's so crazy that somebody had that exact same thought and then wrote a book about it. I ain't never read it. How me and him had the same thought? Collective consciousness. All right. So what you do about the past? The past to you no longer exists. You are who you are now. And everything in the past, every version of you helped create who you are now. The good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. They are why you are here. So if you make any other version of yourself feel like you don't forgive them, you blame them for not being further in life, baby, they gonna take it hard. They gonna take it hard. Let me tell you why. Because they're you. Okay? So let's talk about timelines. Like I said, past, present, and future all happen at the same time, but you can only experience one at a time. When you try to experience more than one at a time without your earthly body, it turns into anxiety and depression. Okay? Particularly with the past more than anything. Because with the past, you can resonate with that a little bit more. You don't know what the fuck is going to happen in the future. That's up to God. As long as you trust Him, it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. And you can bet on that. But you already know what happened in the past. That's why the anxiety hits a lot harder when you think about things of the past. Those are things that you can't change. But those timelines still exist. They just should not be existing to you anymore. When a memory becomes like a motion picture, that's when you're opening timelines. As crazy as that sounds, you can literally open a past timeline and be there and be here at the same time. And that creates anxiety. That creates anxiety. I used to have crazy anxiety in the corner, just trying to make myself like, why is this happening? It's because you can only be here. You can only be rooted here in the now. Trees do not walk, babe. They're rooted, they're planted. But trees do grow. And that's your timeline. To be present where you are right now and expect and hope for the best. So when you do not forget, when you visit, or let's just say live, when you live in a past timeline, in a past version of yourself, and you live in the present at the same time, you're leaving that timeline open. And it makes whatever version of yourself, whether that was 12, 11, 13-year-old Jonathan, Daisy, Mahogany, whoever, they like, why does she feel this way about me? I was just doing the best that I could. Whatever that may be, whatever the reason was that you like, no, I could have been farther ahead if I didn't do that at this point in time. Well, as long as you know that yourself wasn't trying to sabotage yourself, you knew that you were like, man, I'm gonna have a shit life. I don't give a fuck what happens. You know within yourself that you wanted the best life for yourself possible. So anything that any other version of yourself did, baby, they didn't do it to hurt you. Maybe they did it to cope. Okay? Maybe they did it to cope. It don't make it right, but only you know the real reason why. And you have to give yourself the empathy that you wish that people would give to you. Self-love is the best love, and that's what I had to learn. You can't be looking for everything outside of yourself, looking for everybody to hand you these things, and you got to give it to yourself. So when little version of yourself feel like, no, nobody else out in the world understands me, and neither does myself, I got to show her, I got to prove to him that, you know, I helped contribute to the journey. I was not a detriment to the journey. I didn't do anything. I was just trying my best. Y'all don't make about to make me cry, y'all. Don't make the younger version of yourself like feel unsafe with you, because I'm pretty sure it's a lot of times and people in the world at those times, even probably now, that you don't feel safe with. You gotta feel safe with you, baby. Okay? If not with nobody else, you gotta feel safe with you. So if your younger version of yourself, whatever version that is, whatever age that was, don't feel safe with yourself, guess what they're gonna be doing? They're gonna be trying to prove to you why they are worth it, why you should forgive them, why they should deserve love for you, just how we do with people outside of us, until we really get a grip on life. Why don't he love me? Why don't she why do they treat me like this? Fuck them. This about you, okay? This about you before anybody else. When you worry about yourself first, then everything else start falling in line. So when yourself is like, dang, the rest of the world don't, and she don't, I don't, like, it keeps that timeline open. I don't make the rules, but that's just how it go, right? It keeps that timeline open, and they continue to prove to you. That's why you feel that pull, that tug, that draw on yourself, like, it's not enough. Like, what can I do? You're living there and you're living here. Two versions of yourself, because that version of yourself that belong in that timeline is you refilling everything in that timeline, refilling what that version of yourself is feeling, because it's you. And this version of yourself that needs to be here, you're feeling them all at the same time. So you're feeling the pressure of your present and you're feeling the pressure of your past. And it makes it even worse if you're adding on the pressure of your future. Now, what a lot of why am I messing up that word? Stay with me. What a lot of metaphysicists will say when they're talking about hopping timelines, closing timelines, collapsing timelines, and moving into your highest timeline, is that you got to kill off the old version of yourself. Now, when I heard that, I said, that sounds very violent. That version of yourself is you. Now, why would you do that? It's whatever floats your boat. If you feel like that's what you need to do to yourself in order to get ahead, it sounds pretty gruesome to me. I won't be saying that, but if that's what you feel like you need to do, that's what you feel like you need to say it. But in my world, my reality, I don't like how that sounds. I know myself. I like to think that I like to think, I know for a fact that every version of myself wanted the best and wanted the best for me, wants me to have the best life. I always have dreamed of just everything good for myself as a kid. So I know every version of myself, even the ones that had, certain traits that cannot go with me where I'm going. I know that they had that in their heart, regardless of the mistakes that they made, regardless of the mistakes that I make now. I know that I wanted the utmost fantastic, beautiful, grand life for myself. Nigga was just trying to cope with life, and that's okay. So I'm not gonna tell myself, no, you're gonna have to kill yourself so that we can get to our highest. No, I'm not gonna say that. I don't want to look at it as that. What I want to say is that you can make amends with that version of yourself. You can go into that timeline and you can talk to that version of yourself. Almost like talking to yourself, like if you was to go and talk to a mirror, go and look at your reflection in the mirror. When you feel yourself going into a certain past or present, or not present, or future moment, you can stay there. You can analyze your feelings. And when you feel panic arise, know that that is that past version of yourself feeling like they need to prove themselves to you. So you know what you do? You take a deep breath whenever you feel that panic arise. You take control of the situation. You be the adult. You be the person that you wish was there for that version of yourself now in the present. And you say, I know. I'm the only one in this world, girl. I'm about to cry. I'm the only one in this world who knows what you went through, who knows exactly how you felt. And I'm sorry that I made you feel like you weren't good enough. I should have protected you. I love you and I do not blame you. I know for a fact, there is not a doubt in my mind that you are so crucial and so pivotal to where I am now. And I will never forget you. I will never forget you. Those are the things that version of yourself needs to hear. And it allows them to stop having such a tight grip on you to where they can close that timeline now because now they are at peace. I can trust them now to not forget about me. I can trust them to go after the kind of life that we deserve. I can stay in this timeline with the hope and the knowledge that she is the woman that we dreamed about, and she's going to get us to places that she could never imagine. And if you're a guy, place he, him, or however you choose to identify in those spaces, right? You be that person for every version of yourself that does not feel love. They need to feel loved by you more than anybody else, just like you need to feel more loved by you than anybody else. So once you close out those timelines, it might take some time, y'all. It took me a while. And sometimes still have to tweak little things. Some things still come back up. But you build relationships because you do not want for those versions of yourself to seek to exist. You want them to trust you. So when you need them as allies, right? They'll come. You need a little 13-year-old version of yourself to come and really turn up. Yeah, you want to get turned up with your crew, with your friends. You want to have a good time. You want to feel like, yeah, I don't give a fuck what nobody talk about me. What nobody say about me. Yeah, I know I'm him. I know I'm her. That was little 15-year-old version of yourself. You want her to come and pull up? Okay, yeah, she there. Cause she already knows she locked in. She tapped in with you. So she gonna be there for you whenever you feel like it. You don't have to be a shell of yourself. And you will be a shell of yourself if you forget about who helped you get where you are now. Right? This is how you make peace with yourself. This is how you take back pieces of yourself that you left places. Call all of it back to you. All of it. All of it back. I call every piece of me that I left behind back. You got to do the shadow work, the work that nobody wants to do. Now, a lot of people will not want to do this. They think that, oh, I'm going to get to the top. A lot of people have gotten to the top. They didn't worry about all that. They think, I'm going to get this money. I'm going to be happy. Baby, money don't buy happiness. Money helps. It helps with a little bit of stress, but it's so many celebrities that we know that have all this money and they still are struggling mentally, right? Because to be able to enjoy your life well-roundedly, there are certain things that you have to do with your spirit to be all right on the inside. And depending on how much you suppress for how long, you done suppress 20 years worth of yourself, it's going to take a little time. It's going to take a little work. But yourself will never forsake you. For real. Because God lives within you. As long as you listen to yourself and you prioritize how you feel, you think from a clear space of love, tapping into that God frequency within yourself. You'll realize that thinking about yourself is not selfish. You're connected to everybody. So thinking about yourself is actually building a better world, a better reality. You have to focus on your reality and making sure yourself does not feel like you living in hell while you living. This life is supposed to be fun. Okay? It's supposed to be fun. There will be, times where, things get a little, but this is your show. Can't nothing stop you unless you say so. Okay? If God is with you, who can be against you? They say the weapons may form, but it won't prosper. You have to keep these things in your heart. And that's another reason why I had to let go of religion, because people say these things, they say them like quotes or whatever. They don't live by it. It's one thing to just say things, to regurgitate things just to sound like you're holy, to sound like you tapped in with God, and it's another thing to try to walk like him. All right. So I hope y'all feel me. I hope y'all understand. And I really hope this helps y'all. All of these things help for you to be present right now. Help for you to be able to enjoy who you are right now and not constantly have to feel like you have to fix things about yourself. Like you can't be appreciative for what God has given you, because everything that you're sitting in, I promise you, you probably prayed for a lot of it at a different point in your life. Enjoy it and know that everything does get better. Everything always does get better. And it will get way better than you can imagine when you practice your faith in God. Okay? Your faith in God that good things can happen to you. Good things do happen to you. Expect it. God loves when you do that. Okay? The guy who parted the Red Sea, yeah, that one. The one who loves to do all these miraculous things. Yeah, he wants you to tap into that. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of strength. We like to say that we are faithful, but our lives a lot of times prove different. Think highly of yourself. Think highly of your life, and think highly of your abilities. Think highly of what God can do for you and what God can do through you. All right? So, let's end this podcast with a deep breath session because a lot of things were said. I don't know how that fell on y'all spirit. Like I had a lot of time to think about that. So it was kind of like a breeze for me. But that might have been really heavy for you. So before we close out, let's take our deep breaths. Tap in with yourself. If you have a journal, you know what I mean? You don't have to close your eyes. You can just breathe, and maybe it'll help you more to write down a little bit the things that come up so that your thoughts and your feelings aren't so jumbled up afterwards. If you do not have a journal, if you feel comfortable to close your eyes, really connect with yourself. Quiet your mind as much as possible. This is a safe place. So I'm not trying to be pushy or judgy, but any negative self-talk that you feel, tell those thoughts with much authority. You are not welcome here. Don't label them bad, but this is just a moment for you to just be. Take a deep breath in. Feel it rise up to your heart. Breathe out. Take a breath in. Breathe out. I'm a little stopped up, y'all, so my breathing is a little weird right now. But still breathe. Normally don't try to follow me. Breathe out. Take as much time to breathe as you need. Really center yourself and notice what you're thinking. Know that you have control over those things. Observe them, but know that your thoughts are not you. You don't have to absorb them. It is a choice. You absolutely have a choice in that. You can choose to just observe them. You do not have to absorb them. But if you do absorb them, just know that it is okay. There will be a time, as long as you practice these techniques, checking in with yourself, that you will not no longer absorb them. You will not absorb them anymore. Sorry, kind of mixed up those words. You will no longer absorb them anymore. There will be a time when you'll just be able to observe them, and you'll kind of be able to pinpoint where these came from, understand them, and let them just coast away because they don't belong to you. They're fleeting. So allow them to be that. And take control of yourself, of your mind, and know that don't nothing have control over you but God. And the control that God has is in the best ways. Don't nothing outside of you have control over you. So take as many breaths as you can. Like I said, analyze your feelings. Let's call ourselves back. Breathe. You can keep deep breathing. You can, return back to I don't know what you call that, shallow breathing. If it's not deep, I guess it's shallow. I don't know, y'all, but you can return back to regular breathing. Um, yeah, I think that was cool. I think that was beautiful, y'all. But yes, this concludes our first podcast, The Art of Presence. I really hope that it did it for y'all. I really do. Like, same time next week, okay? Same time next week. Y'all gonna be here? Yeah. I'm a bet on it. I love y'all. Peace.